Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we will dive into the shocking aftermath of Sheila signing those divorce papers, her sudden disappearance from Los Angeles, and the absolute paranoid meltdown happening with the Forresters, Taylor, and Deacon. And I just have to say right off the bat that I am completely blown away by how this entire storyline is playing out right now. Because if you have been watching this show as long as I have, you know that Sheila Carter does not just walk away. She just does not. But that is exactly what she did, and it is driving everyone absolutely out of their minds. So let us just get right into the thick of it, because there is so much to unpack here, and my brain is just spinning with all the details and the raw, unfiltered chaos of this situation. So the moment finally happened. Deacon and Sheila actually sat down and signed those divorce papers. And I was watching this thinking, there is going to be an explosion. I was waiting for the screaming. I was waiting for Sheila to pull out another weapon. Because we all remember the pizza cutter incident in Taylor's office, which was terrifying, by the way. But no, Sheila just signed the papers, she put the pen down, and she looked at Deacon with this expression that I can only describe as complete and utter defeat, which is so strange for her, because Sheila is a fighter. Sheila is a survivor. Sheila is the woman who cut off her own toe to fake her death. And here she is just signing away her marriage to the man she actually loved. And honestly, I felt a little bad for her, which makes me feel crazy. But I did, because Deacon really did do her dirty. He cheated on her with Taylor, of all people. And Sheila just took it. She signed the paper. But then things got really weird, because after the divorce was finalized, Sheila did not stick around to plot her revenge. She did not go lurking in the bushes at the Cliff House. She did not go to Forrester Creations to cause a scene. Instead, she went back to Il Giardino, and she wrote a note, just a short, simple note. And she left it there on the bar or the table or wherever Deacon was going to find it. And then she just vanished. She packed whatever she needed and she left Los Angeles in the dead of night, just drove away. And that is it. Sheila Carter is gone. And let me tell you, my jaw literally hit the floor when I realized she was actually leaving. Because this is not the Sheila we know. The Sheila we know would be setting fires. She would be kidnapping people. She would be doing something completely unhinged to make sure Deacon and Taylor pay for what they did to her. But she just left a note. And the note basically just said she was gone. No threats. No promises of returning to exact her vengeance. Just a simple goodbye. And I am sitting here at my keyboard exhausted, just trying to process the psychological weight of this decision. Because the writers are actually doing something brilliant here. They are giving Sheila a moment of genuine human exhaustion. She is tired. She does not want to fight anymore. She just wants to go to a new city and start a brand new life. But of course, nobody in Los Angeles believes that. And why would they? Because honestly, I would not believe it either if I lived in that fictional universe. So when the news breaks that Sheila has left town, the reaction is just pure, unadulterated panic. And it starts with the Forresters. Because Ridge and Steffi are absolutely losing their minds over this. And I completely understand where Steffi is coming from. Because let us not forget the history here. Sheila shot Steffi. Sheila shot Finn. Sheila left them for dead in an alley. Sheila has terrorized this family for decades. So when Steffi hears that Sheila just signed the papers and quietly left town, Steffi immediately goes into full lockdown mode. She does not buy it for a single second. And she is right to be suspicious based on past behavior. Steffi is pacing around the Cliff House. She is calling Ridge. She is probably looking into hiring a private army of security guards, because Steffi believes with every fiber of her being that this is a trap, a psychological game. And honestly, it is a brilliant theory. Because if Sheila wanted to hurt them, the best way to do it would be to make them think she is gone, to make them lower their defenses, to make them feel safe, and then strike when they least expect it. So Steffi is just consumed by this idea that Sheila is out there somewhere plotting a massive, catastrophic revenge plan. And Ridge is completely on board with this theory. Ridge is furious. He is ranting and raving about how the snake is just hiding in the grass. He is telling everyone to be on high alert. He is probably double-checking the locks on every door at Forrester Creations. Because Ridge has failed to protect his family from Sheila before. And he is not going to let it happen again. And the crazy thing is, they are wrong. They are actually wrong. Sheila is not playing a game. She really just wants peace. But the Forresters are trapped in this cycle of trauma. And it is fascinating to watch from a psychological standpoint because they are doing this to themselves. Sheila is miles away, driving down some highway towards a new life. And Steffi and Ridge are essentially doing Sheila's job for her. They are terrorizing themselves. They are letting the ghost of Sheila Carter ruin their peace. And I think that is just incredible writing, even if it is a little frustrating to watch them spiral like this. Because you just want to shake them and say she is actually gone, but they would never believe you. So while the Forresters are fortifying their mansions and preparing for a war that is not coming, we have to talk about Deacon. Because Deacon is a total mess right now, and he absolutely deserves to be. I have always had a soft spot for Deacon Sharp. But what he did to Sheila was just low. He married her, he promised her a life, he made her believe she was finally accepted by someone, and then he sneaks around with Taylor Hayes. And now Deacon is sitting alone at Il Giardino. He finds this short little note from Sheila, and the guilt is just eating him alive. And it should, because Deacon knows that Sheila actually loved him. It was not a game for her. She was trying to be better for him, and he betrayed her. And now he is looking at this empty restaurant. He is looking at the life he blew up. And yes, he has Taylor now, but at what cost? Deacon is carrying this massive burden of guilt because he realizes that he might have broken the one person who truly loved him unconditionally, despite all her flaws, despite her being a literal psychopath at times. Sheila loved Deacon, and Deacon threw it away. So now he is just wallowing in this guilt. He is probably staring at a bottle of something and trying to figure out how his life got so complicated again. And honestly, I think Deacon is also a little scared. Because even though he knows Sheila left, a part of him has to wonder if she is coming back. He knows her better than anyone right now. And even he is probably second-guessing this peaceful exit. But mostly it is just guilt. Heavy, crushing guilt. Because he knows he is the villain in Sheila's story this time. But the person who is really taking this the hardest in the most twisted way possible is Taylor. And this is where the storyline just gets incredibly dark and fascinating. Because Taylor Hayes is a world-renowned psychiatrist, she is supposed to be the expert on human behavior. She is supposed to know how to handle trauma and anxiety. But right now, Taylor is completely losing her grip on reality. And it is wild to watch. Taylor is sitting in the Cliff House, or wherever she is staying now that Steffi is so mad at her. And Taylor is just consumed by paranoia, because she was the one in that office with Sheila. She was the one who saw the crazy look in Sheila's eyes when the pizza cutter was waving around. Taylor knows exactly how close she came to dying that day. So when she hears that Sheila just quietly left town, Taylor's brain completely short circuits. She cannot process it. Her psychiatric training is telling her that people like Sheila do not just walk away. They escalate. They retaliate. So Taylor starts to believe that Sheila is still here. Taylor becomes completely obsessed with the idea that Sheila is watching her from the shadows. Every time the wind blows, Taylor jumps. Every time a floorboard creaks, Taylor thinks it is Sheila coming to finish the job. She is looking out the windows at night. She is seeing shadows in the corners of the room. Her newly found peace with Deacon is completely shattered because she cannot even enjoy being with him. Every time she looks at Deacon, she remembers that he is the reason Sheila might be hunting her. It is turning her dream romance into an absolute nightmare of suspicion and fear. And the irony is just delicious. I am sorry, but it is. Taylor, the great doctor, the woman who has psychoanalyzed everyone in Los Angeles for decades, is being driven mad by a woman who is not even in the same zip code anymore. Sheila has completely broken Taylor's mind without even trying, without even being there. Sheila's absence is doing more damage to Taylor's psyche than her actual presence ever could, because the unknown is always scarier. And Taylor's imagination is filling in all the blanks with the most horrific scenarios possible. She probably thinks Sheila is living in the walls or hiding in the trunk of her car. It is a full-blown psychological breakdown, and I am here for it, because Taylor has been acting so high and mighty lately, and now she is just a paranoid mess. And you know what the craziest part of all of this is? The absolute craziest part? Sheila is innocent in all of this current panic. For the first time in her entire life, Sheila Carter is actually doing the right thing. She realized that she was in a toxic situation. She realized that her marriage was over. She realized that if she stayed in Los Angeles, she would eventually snap and do something that would send her back to prison for the rest of her life. So she made the incredibly mature, incredibly difficult choice to just walk away. She chose her own freedom over revenge. She chose to go find a new city, maybe open a little bakery, maybe just live quietly somewhere where nobody knows her name or her history. She actually wants a fresh start. But because of who she is, because of the decades of terror she has inflicted on these people, she is not allowed to just leave peacefully. Her departure has become a weapon of mass psychological destruction. And I just think the writers deserve an award for this specific plot point, because it subverts every single expectation we have as viewers. We expect the bloodbath, we expect the kidnapping, we expect the explosive confrontation on the edge of a cliff. But instead we get silence. We get an empty room and a short note. And that silence is deafening. It is driving the characters insane. Let us talk a little more about Ridge and his reaction. Because Ridge is just insufferable right now. He is pacing around like he is the general of some army. He is constantly barking orders at people. He is telling Brooke to be careful. He is telling Steffi to lock the doors. He is probably yelling at Thomas and everyone else in the family because Ridge likes to feel in control. And right now he has zero control. He cannot fight an enemy he cannot see. He cannot punch Sheila in the face if she is not there. So he is just shadowboxing with his own anxiety. And it is exhausting to watch, but also very true to his character. Ridge has a hero complex, and when there is no villain to fight, he kind of short circuits to... He needs Sheila to be plotting something so he can swoop in and save the day. The idea that she just left and does not care about them anymore, it hurts his ego in a weird way. It means they are not the center of her universe anymore. And the Forresters always think they are the center of the universe. And then we have to look at the dynamic between Taylor and Deacon now, because this is the relationship that started this whole mess. They blew up their lives for this love story. They went public. They faced the wrath of the Forresters. Deacon gave up his wife. Taylor gave up her dignity and her standing in the family. And for what? So they could be together. But now they are together, and it is miserable. Because Taylor is a nervous wreck. She cannot sleep. She is constantly looking over her shoulder. She is probably jumping every time Deacon touches her unexpectedly. And Deacon is drowning in guilt. He is looking at Taylor, this woman he sacrificed everything for, and he is seeing how broken she is. And he knows it is his fault. Because if he had just been honest from the beginning, maybe things would be different. But he lied, he cheated, and now the foundation of their relationship is built on guilt and paranoia. I honestly do not see how Deacon and Taylor survive this. Because you cannot build a happy life when there is a ghost haunting your relationship. And Sheila is haunting them. Even from hundreds of miles away, she is the third person in that bed. She is the shadow in the room. Every time they try to have a romantic moment, Taylor's going to think about that pizza cutter. Every time Deacon tries to smile, he is going to think about that short note left at Il Giardino. It is tragic. It is really, truly tragic. And it is brilliant soap opera drama. I also want to talk about the note itself, because I am obsessed with this detail. The fact that Sheila left a short note, not a long manifesto, not a rambling letter about how much she hates them all, just a short note. It shows such a massive shift in her character. Usually Sheila needs to have the last word. She needs to explain her actions. She needs to make sure everyone knows exactly why she is doing what she is doing. But this time, she did not care. She did not need to justify her departure. She just wanted to leave. And that short note is what is driving Steffi and Ridge so crazy. Because there is no information in it. There are no clues to decipher. It is just a blank wall. And when people are faced with a blank wall, they project their own fears onto it. Steffi is projecting her trauma from the alley shooting onto that note. She reads, "I am leaving," and her brain translates it to, "I am going to wait until you are asleep, and then I am going to strike." Ridge reads the note, and his brain translates it to, "I am going to target the Forrester Company." Taylor reads the note, and her brain translates it to, "I am standing right behind you." It is a masterclass in psychological horror without any actual horror happening. And where is Sheila right now? I keep picturing her driving. Just driving on a long dark highway. Maybe she is heading to the Midwest. Maybe she is heading to the East Coast. Maybe she is just going to a small town in Nevada and she is probably listening to the radio and she is probably crying a little bit because it does hurt. It hurts to be betrayed. It hurts to realize that the life you tried to build was a lie. But I also think she feels a massive sense of relief because pretending to be normal, trying to fit into a world that constantly rejects you, that is exhausting. And Sheila has been fighting that battle for decades. She has been trying to force the Foresters to accept her. She has been trying to force Deacon to love her exclusively. And now, she does not have to try anymore. She is free. And that freedom is terrifying to the people she left behind. Because a free Sheila Carter is an unpredictable Sheila Carter. Even if her intentions are pure, her history makes her a permanent threat in their minds. So what happens next? I honestly do not know. Because the writers have set up a situation where nothing is happening, but everything feels like it is about to explode. I think Taylor's going to get worse. I think her paranoia is going to start affecting her work. She might even have to step away from her practice because how can you treat patients when you are jumping at shadows? How can you advise people on their mental health when your own mental health is completely unraveling? I think Steffi might actually drive a wedge between herself and Finn over this. Because Finn is probably going to be a little more rational. Finn might actually believe that his mother is gone. He might feel a strange sense of loss. And Steffi is not going to tolerate that. If Finn shows even an ounce of sympathy or relief that Sheila left peacefully, Steffi is going to lose it. She is going to accuse him of being naive. She is going to say he is falling for her trap. And that could cause a massive rift in their marriage. And Deacon? Poor, messy Deacon. He has his restaurant. He has Taylor. But he has lost his soul a little bit in this process. I think Deacon is going to throw himself into work. He is going to try to make Il Giardino even bigger and better to distract himself from the guilt. But every time he walks past the spot where he found that note, he is going to feel a pang in his chest. Because he knows he ruined a woman who was actually trying to be good for him. This whole situation is just a mess. A beautiful, complicated, psychological mess. And I cannot stop thinking about it. I cannot stop typing about it. Because it is just so rare to see a soap opera handle a villain's exit with this much nuance. They did not kill her off. They did not send her to prison. They just let her walk away. And in doing so, they created more drama than a bomb exploding in the Forrester living room ever could. I am going to be watching every single episode like a hawk. Because I need to see how far Taylor falls. I need to see if Ridge actually hires mercenaries to patrol the city limits. I need to see if Deacon breaks down and tries to find her. Because you know a part of him wants to. A part of him wants to find Sheila and apologize. Not to get back together, but just to clear his conscience. But he cannot, because she is gone, truly gone. And honestly, good for her. Good for Sheila Carter. I never thought I would say those words, but she did the right thing. She walked away from a toxic mess. And she left the toxic mess to clean itself up. And they are failing miserably at it. The Forresters and Logans and Spencers and everyone else involved are just tearing themselves apart over a ghost. It is poetic justice. Sheila is finally getting her revenge, and she does not even have to lift a finger to do it. Her absence is the ultimate punishment for all of them. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Sheila is actually gone for good? Do you think she really just wants a new life? Or do you agree with Steffi and Ridge that this is all a massive psychological trap? And what about Taylor? Do you feel bad for her? Or do you think she deserves this paranoia after what she did with Deacon? I am so torn, but I am leaning towards Taylor bringing this on herself. You do not play with fire and then act surprised when you smell smoke. Even if the fire has already left town. This show is just firing on all cylinders right now, and I am exhausted just trying to keep up with the emotional whiplash. But I love it. I absolutely love it. And I will be right here covering every single paranoid breakdown and guilty stare as it happens. Because this is the kind of drama we live for. Raw, messy, human drama, with a little bit of psycho thriller thrown in for good measure. Alright, I need to take a breath and step away from the keyboard for a minute because my hands are cramping from typing all of this out. But stay tuned, because you know things are only going to get crazier from here. The fallout from this quiet departure is going to be louder than any scream, and I am ready for it. So, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next video where we will probably be talking about Taylor accidentally attacking a delivery guy because she thought it was Sheila in disguise. Honestly, I would not put it past her at this point. That is how far gone she is. Okay, bye for now.